Waddlers, I guess at this point for now until the next update or something, we're basically a Vibrant Visuals deep diver. It feels like every other day the stuff is changing, but I mean, hey, I can't complain. It's so juicy. So in one of the most top 10 embarrassing moments of all time, the largest anime betrayals ever, we did this whole deep dive into the end, the storms, how they recently were updated, how they were all brand new, changed everything about the end, and they're pretty crazy. Now, I've been going through and dealing with some stuff in real life lately, so I haven't had exactly as much time to make videos for you guys. And I was super proud of that video, like it was a full-out deep dive, and right before I released the video, Mojang changed the whole end storm. They've gone ahead and done it again. They've updated the entire end storm. There's no way for sure they changed this stuff before the release of Vibrant Visuals in a couple of weeks here. Please, Mojang, don't do that. From lighting to blocks to end storms to sounds to even more, the end is fully changed again. What is Mojang cooking? The end, fully changed again. Jumping into this thing immediately. The end storm. Gone are the days of grainy, like we checked out in this video right here. Hello, are the days of big and smoothie, for the most part again. Now these end storms, one of the largest new changes to these things that in my opinion totally seems like is hinting at something greater for the end sometime soon. Oh my god, did you hear that? There's an end storm sound that plays. Initially popping up inside of 1.21.90.26, the end light flash sound now triggers when the light flashes into the end. Now, alongside a brand new, much more dramatic and also spaced out end flash, we have a couple of different sounds that will play, and oh my god, they're so quiet, but also at the same time, they like fill out my entire subwoofer inside of my headset. There's one of those things inside of it, right? Now, as you can see here, I'm not really messing with any editing or anything. The end storms, well, they seem to be way more spaced out timing-wise compared to what they were just a couple of weeks ago. The end storms totally still happen, but they're way more spaced out. We get the cool sound. And also, on top of that, I mean, the duration of the individual flashes still seems a little bit randomized. But generally speaking here, they seem to last way longer than they did previously. Now, as we know, from being real intuitive with the code that has popped up in previous previews from previous months here, the end storms have tons of customizability to them. Now, swanging things out here to the outer end, I've built myself a humble little lab for all of our tests today. Taking a look at the greater end out here, though, when an end storm flash happens from time to time, oh my god, it looks even better than before. The reflections are way more beautiful. The flares and flashes, because it lasts so much longer, it's way more intense. And to maybe even better, perhaps the best part about the end storms are all of the shadows that are cast upon the end. Well, while still entirely dependent on the duration of the flash and the angle of it, the shadows are definitely cast now. And if you haven't noticed, the end overall, it's way brighter now in Vibrant Visuals. Comparing the end to earlier versions when it was all just so dim and dark, it seems like the devs heard our feedback and have gone ahead and made the general baseline of the end here just way more bright in general. Combine it with the end storm flashes that seem to last significantly longer, and I mean, you're looking at an end that is way more easy to see. But it gets even better, because on top of some of those baseline general changes to make the end a lot easier to see in, they've also improved night vision potions inside of the end too. When you drink one inside of Vibrant Visuals running around here, I mean, this basically looks like the old default fancy graphics or whatever. You can see so much more clearly now that the rain is gone, or I don't know, whatever they like to say. Something like that. Oh, now light sources. Besides the beautiful end storm light flash, light sources inside of the end, they're looking way more tight than they ever have been looking before. And we've got an upgraded new one. So alongside the updating of end storms and everything, the devs actually updated all of the mirrors textures in the game. Alongside updating the mirrors textures, they've adjusted how light dissipates and interacts with the... Whoa, this storm is so good looking. Look at the light rays. Oh my god. Long story short, recently, they made every light source look a little bit different. Now, I don't want to focus on these other light sources too much here today. They do look juicy and tasty and whatever, but the end rod. Oh my god, the end rod looks so good. So this is something that I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of sleeping on for the longest time in Vibrant Visuals here, but But check this out, I placed an end rod down, and you can kind of tell here, but as the end storm flash goes away here, place this down, take a look closely at where the actual light is coming from on the rod. Instead of being the top and bottom, it's most bright right in the middle there. This is such a sick attention to detail thing. Like, it's kind of hard to notice, but clearly, the middle of the rod glows the most. You'll also be able to notice this happening at all of the different angles of the end rod here as well. When I place it on the side of a block, side note, this point block lighting stuff is so beautiful still. But you can really start to see here on the middle of the rod when I start to move away where the light glow is actually coming from. It's the middle. What is overhauled and changed here this time around is going to be, of course, the structure with end rods all over it, the end city. These new end rod 2.0, if you want to call them, once you get a little bit closer to the end city, they all start to really pop and glow, again, from that central location, and it just makes this place look so tasty. I think if I didn't already have beautiful wife, and on top of that, I could actually marry an end city, well, I would just have to propose to an end city. Totally love it how this stuff looks now. It's good. Not in part 1, we didn't check it out very much, but I saw some questions about lava. How does this stuff look? So this is kind of crazy here. For starters, when I get next to lava, maybe they have to work on this stuff still, but it feels really, really lame. On top of that, because the lava is so bright, it actually dims out the rest of the end. When a storm happens here, I mean, it definitely still happens, but it totally changes the entire vibe. Check this out. When I move away from the super bright lava, the rest of the end as a whole, like, brightens again, and you can see much, much farther away. This kind of is an interesting thing with vibrant visuals then, wherein basically here, if you're close to a really bright light source, you could see way less farther. Perhaps we'll be able to use this mechanic to our advantage when exploring here, where if we place the torch down, you can't really see very far very well. But if I pull the torch out and let the darkness set back in, your view distance actually increases here. It's kind of cool. Next up here, mobs. You gotta take a look at the Enderman. If they would stop turning around, you can see their eyes. They're really actually glowing now. And one of the more recent updates to vibrant visuals, one that we haven't really checked out too much, emissive textures for mobs have been updated and made way more emissive. Now, these emissive textures for the mobs are all over the end. Of course, the Enderman with their glowing eyes, it looks so good. They seem to be way more sparse, though, on Minecraft Bedrock compared to Java. So I really can't wait to see how this stuff looks on Java eventually, with the way more compact and dense Enderman. But the Enderman's eyes aren't the only glowing romantic ones. The Ender Dragon's eyes also glow now too. Where we can see this happen the most is when you land in the metal. Sweet Gene, I could get lost in those eyes all day long, baby. You look good. Related to mobs are their spawn eggs. The Enderman spawn egg specifically, a little bit of this Endermite one as well, they are actually emissive. You can really notice it happening here when I hold an Ender Dragon egg in my hand. You'd be able to notice these things in the darkness best here, but the Enderman spawn egg, it actually glows. So the shulker, just being a weird purpley box thing, this thing kind of looks like pretty lame right now. The Endermite, being this tiny little mite thing, I bet you haven't seen this yet. Look at that little red nose. You don't even notice that in the normal vanilla game, or at least, like, I never have before. But the Endermite, it has a tiny little red glowing thing. Oh, it's adorable. Then, of course, again, the Enderman with their emissive eyes. Oh. I mean, look, I wish I could stare at these things all day long without getting apprehended. Wow. Endermite is pretty crazy, though. I never knew these things having a red dot on their nose. You know what would also be pretty crazy? If you subscribed. Consider it. I'm always here. I'll be your best friend if you do it. Blocks. Zooey mama. These things are looking good too. Alright, so hold up. Perfect timing here. The end storm in the distance hitting the blocks, creating shadows. I love it. That looks nice. Now, I went ahead and laid out like just basically any basic end related block here. So we've got end portal frames. Those look good. Even more tasty when we put an eye inside of them. End blocks. I mean, we've seen those things all over the place today. Little bit of purr action going on. It's nice. And to maybe moving over to the light, placing some of these blocks down. Like, yeah, they look pretty good here inside of the end. But I've got to say that none of these things are necessarily anything too significant. Instead, if an end storm would pull up right now, it would be even more beautiful. Oh, much more significantly, we've got the egg and the head. The Ender Dragon egg. Unfortunately, there's only one of these things inside of your world, but look at how good that texture looks with those little purple specks actually properly glowing. That looks so hard. Ender Dragon head, though. Wow, with those glowing eyes right there. Oh, man. And the mouth, too. Dude, the devs have cooked. But that's not the only thing you can do with the Ender Dragon. So clearly, you can see I'm holding it in my hand, and the eyes are glowing a little bit on hand. The mouth, too. If I was real intuitive here with this one, redstone torch, a block right there, a little bit of weird lighting, but Ender Dragon, if I power it, well, the mouth will actually move, of course, and you can see the emissive texture kind of like changing a little bit there. That's really, really cool looking. Changing as in cutting out when you can't see it, by the way. Oh, but you can also equip and wear the Ender Dragon head, and it gets way larger when you do. When you wear an Ender Dragon head on your head, the eyes are actually emissive still, and you walk around and the texture changes. What are the devs doing? This stuff is so good. Peep how the torches glow in your hand in the end, too. It looks really, really good. Maybe because of all this dark space. End cities. Now, we've kind of already checked these things out, but I wanted to give you a little bit of a taste as to how this stuff looks from inside a structure again. So with those big wraparound windows, we can hear a storm happening in the background. Oh, the fade from the inside looking out. That looks good, but also really good looking now with these updated end rods, the point-to-black lighting and everything. It's never looked so beautiful as it does now. Also with the reflective glass and the textures bouncing off of it. The storms alone make me want to move out here, but especially this updated end city with the rods that look so much better out here. Oh, man. Almost last today, water. Inside of the end, it's changed again. So when we wait for an end storm to happen, check this out. Well, for starters, you could already see that the water is way more noticeable. But for seconders, the reflection, it looks even better in the water now, way more apparent. But on top of that, and this one is dependent on the end storm's proper angle that we get here. But if the lens is cast just right and the storm pops off at the proper location, unlike that one that was terrible. If a storm happens just right, in water that gets a little bit deeper, but also shallow water, we get that really cool magma block looking texture going on, and it looks even more blue than before. I do love that they made the water properly visible in the end now though, because previously it was 100% invisible. You could like run right into this stuff and not even know that it was here. Take a seat, you're not ready for this. Jumping into the water, oh, the end storm looks good, but when there is no storm, the end's grain is back. I wonder if this is going to be something that they end up changing and fixing because it keeps popping up and then disappearing like preview to preview here. But I can't lie, it actually looks so cool here. Almost like I'm in an entirely different dimension when I'm down under the water just looking around in general. Give it a second when an end storm happens. Because of the tone of the water, it's all blue. You get the purple effect on the floor there. And flip into other perspective, if the water isn't too deep, you get the reflections on the water too. Now under the water here, if I were to add a little bit of lighting, actually tragically not too much happens. This definitely feels super unfinished still and maybe something that they need to circle back around to. Whoa, those light rays though. They don't gotta circle around to those. Lighting under the water in the end, it looks like bluish green. It's pretty cool looking, but doesn't really add too much to the show here today. Now glass. We already know that glass has really interesting reflections and behaviors with sunlight in the game. The same exact thing will happen with end storms here. The end storm, when it does, it'll actually be able to reflect off of glass as well. And just like with the sun, when this flash happens, the reflection, the tone of it will shift. It'll change depending on the type of glass block that the reflection is being reflected upon. So I've got white stained glass over in this corner, yellow stained glass, normal glass, and tinted glass here, and you can see clear as day the tone of the reflection shifting. They've also made it so it reflects all across much more of the normal glass type compared to how it did before. Now the final thing that I like to mention here today is, I gotta be honest, item frames, specifically the glow ones here, they look really weird in the end. Like when I put something inside of them, they look like whatever, but even with something not inside of them, they kind of have this pinkish hue to them right now. That's strange. Yeah, these end storms, the end in general, where it's at right now, it's stunning. These storms, combined with some of the updates that have gone down over the past couple of months, and I can't help but wonder, are we maybe actually finally walking up towards the biggest update of all time? It's definitely something we could elaborate further on in a different video, so if you'd like to see me do that, tap like, subscribe. My patrons, I'd like to send a huge thank you to you. Ground Crazy May, Medical Boomstick, Fire Dragon 19, CVM, The Duke, Pixie Phantom, Deb K, Fateful Grimoire, Jilly K, and Lena R. You're all the best. Until next time, it's been me, Wattles. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.